and today we're going to talk about feeling better when things are lousy, or different self-care practices when you just don't feel like self-caring, other caring, any kind of caring at all because you're in a funk because of ... For me, the context is dealing with a chronic illness that is rare, and for you it might be something else completely. At the core of the content I create, you live there. My brain and my heart is always considering, how might this help the person who's watching this video? As I was making today's video, I was feeling kind of self-conscious, and I was feeling like, oh my gosh, it's all about me. That's creating the context and hoping that you can see yourself within my context and simply overlay your situation where you might find yourself in the same circumstance. Or if not for you, perhaps for someone you love. Are you ready? We're going to see me at the morning of my most recent doctor's appointment. And then we're going to do some creativity stuff. And then we're going to go for a walk and kind of bridge that gap to today, which is when I'm actually feeling better. Cumulatively much better. So we're going to flash back. I wore the same shirt as I was wearing in the other clips because I was going to try to fool you into thinking it was the same day. I apologize for trying to fool you. But YouTube trains us that at the beginning of videos we're supposed to talk about what we're going to be talking about and how that will solve some issue for you. I would say that most of my videos are about companionship for you and for me, and hopes that you will learn something along the way, as will I. I'm definitely a mutuality kind of person, and so we will be talking about how I'm dealing with healthcare at the age of 64 in the American way of healthcare, receiving healthcare, which for those of us who have healthcare tied to employers means that my healthcare company, my HMO, is in California. I live in New Jersey. I'm currently in Maryland, and I'm getting healthcare here in Maryland because this is where the HMO that I belong to has offices. I know, it's wackadoodle. So I'm preparing to go to the doctor, a hand specialist, because my illness right now is in my hand. It started in my lungs and it moved into my chest. It was dislodged from my chest, thankfully. And now it's thought that the hand is a good place to go. And it's interesting because even as I'm talking about it, it's heating up. I've learned so much about valley fever, also known as Coccidioidomycosis. I don't want to talk about that right now because I think it's only interesting to a few. But I wanted to show you what I've been doing this morning to keep myself calm. So I'm drinking coffee, I'm eating yogurt, and this has been a very slow, calm, quiet morning. I have been up now for a few hours. I learned something today. If you mix plain Greek yogurt with vanilla Greek yogurt, it has a much better flavor for me than vanilla by itself, which comes off too strong, and plain that comes off too bland. So I suggest that. That's why I've written, hey, Kay and Roe, if you're watching this, I'm writing about Parvin State Park and I wrote this a few days ago. I wrote this while I was on a walk at Parvin State Park, walking and writing. And I was going to talk about, I've written today, I've done my morning writing practice. I have been on YouTube. I've watched a couple lives. YouTube sometimes provides me companionship in the morning. Also, in building my channel, YouTube, hanging out with people on YouTube, getting to know people on YouTube is something that I really enjoy doing. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy engaging with people because that's how you get to know folks, is by engaging with them, talking to them, asking them questions, sharing your life with them in a friendly way. So I was doing that, and I was working on art because I was watching an art video, an art video of someone that was doing postcard art. And so I decided, hey, I really want to get back into my stuff. So I just want to share with you what I did. This is what I call, I'll show you this. This is what I call accidental art. Isn't it cool? This is just a stack of masking tape, but I like that. It will go in the trash soon, but I'll take a photo of it. I like it that much. One of my best friends is a sculptor. One of the few people who would not find my musings about this tape. I could probably write a poem. Anybody want me to write a poem about it? Okay, thanks. Thank you for, Thank you for tolerating me and my quirkiness. But index card art is very small art, and I did some painting. So very simple, just slapping some paint down. Most of my art is not, I can't think. Dave Lowe, if you're out there. Most of my art is like this, just throwing stuff down. I use art sometimes to calm myself. Here's some more. And you can see that's where this came from because I was using it. And then you might know that I do art on book pages. So here's an example of book page art. This book, this is like double layer of healing. This book was given to me by a jerk, a person who I should never have built a friendship with or built whatever I had. And I kept saying, please don't give me things. Please don't give me things. I'll tell people that. I don't want more stuff. I really don't want more stuff. I want experiences. I want really deep conversations. I love meaningful conversations. I thrive on meaningful conversations. But no. So I got this book, and now I'm making it into art because sometimes when I read books I don't like, especially books that make me mad, I will make art with them, and that helps me to build a relationship with the book. But this book is okay. It's not bad. It's more about the person who gave it to me and that I need to heal that. I shouldn't have. I should be just totally passive about it. And this, I really love this. See, this is just a sketchbook, like a catch-all kind of art book. And I spilled coffee on it at one point, and I really like the splatters. I'm like, what should I do with this? So it's going to become a mixed media page, but I really like, I used it to put the index cards on. That's kind of cool. I actually really like how that looks just like this. Right now I'm posing for a possible thumbnail. Actually, YouTube likes stuff like this. Next time you see me, we'll probably be coming out of the doctor's office because I'd rather be on my own until then. Sorry. This is me doing two things. Experimenting with cinematic mode as I sat outside the doctor's office following my appointment, and also processing the experience that I had inside. A lot happened. I got my go get some surgery done call from the doctor. I realized that their lack of knowledge about valley fever was kind of disconcerting. He asked me if I got valley fever while spelunking. No, I didn't. I responded, no, I got it by breathing. And he looked at me like I said something really weird. But that is how I got valley fever. I inhaled fungal spores. It's common in California. Thankfully, though, now I'm actually cool with everything. I've processed. This brings me to getting outdoors and going for a walk, and lo and behold, a bridge appeared. I've not been on this part of the trail, but wow, seeing this bridge and seeing the light interplay and bringing you along made me feel better rather surprisingly quickly. When you have a rare disease, a localized disease that most people don't know of, even doctors, it is difficult. And I'm doing my best to trust and at the same time be smart and communicate clearly and be diligent, all of those things. And yet looking at my options, so here's the thing. When I had a needle biopsy in my lungs, you know, they have to go through your lung cavity, go inside your lungs, and pull out a sample. They had to pull out a sample from the nodule in my lungs. And my theory, and my surgeon in California agrees, that what most likely happened was when they pulled out the sample. Some Kochi got loose from, I describe it as the Kochi, the fungus stuff got out of my lungs and looked around my body for another place to go. And this can be really dangerous. Thankfully, it lodged in my chest, and we were able to get rid of it that time. But the Kochi's always alive. There's always a risk of it coming back. The worst is that I could get meningitis and die. Now, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the outcome, but you add the fact that I almost died once before dealing with the same illness, it leaves me in a very emotionally precarious spot. So I'm doing my things that I normally do to keep myself centered. And I haven't talked much about this openly because I would rather not face it head on, and yet I know I need to face it head on. So these are the things I've been doing to keep myself grounded and centered. To recap, I journaled, I art journaled, I made some art, I worked on this video, I took you along with me as I did these things so I wouldn't feel so alone. And that's something I didn't even mention because it's too difficult. It's so funny. These things that I really don't want to talk about, that I don't want to face, that I need to. It's different when you're alone when you're facing these things. So I substitute all y'all for the people who, if you have someone who you're living with and sharing your life with day to day, face to face, it's a whole different scene. And even talking about that, I can feel I can feel my, so humming is good. Humming is another thing. It can calm, bring down. Today I'm going to a botanical garden. It's beautiful nearby. I'll be smelling flowers. I'll be hugging trees. I will be bringing you along. I'll be going to a library art sale because I want to collect some more, some things I don't have here supplies-wise, which include picture books, coffee table books that I can use to make and create collage and journaling materials. And then I'll come back to the house and I might go for a dip in the pool. I might work on an art journal page or collage. I might binge watch something on TV. I might read. All of these things are things that make me feel better and keep me calm. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm nowhere near where I was yesterday. The one piece I didn't share with you is that I called the HMO and I talked to someone in customer service, and I said, will you please give me the exact date and time of all of my current appointments so I could put them in one spot in a document so I could know exactly what I'm doing on what days. It just made me feel so much better to have it written out clear in front of me. Deep breaths. Oh, and I do meditate at least once or twice a day. Definitely a morning and a night. Those things also help. Questions? Concerns? So what did you think? What came up for you as you were watching? Did you think of something you might not want to say that you're kind of nervous about talking about? If that's you, then you might really enjoy the journaling sequence of live streams that I'm hosting starting this coming Monday. And if this is sometime after June 26th, they'll be the lives that I create this week will be in my feed. And maybe I'll remember to update this so you can watch. Oh, I make myself laugh sometimes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe if you don't already. That would make my heart sing. And I hope that you will watch more videos if you find this content at all interesting. Thanks so much, and I look forward to connecting with you today and in the future as well.